This question asks, consider the equilibrium reaction in statements below. Which statements are true? So we have an acid-base equilibrium, and then we have 4 statements that we have to kind of look at. And the statements kind of contradict each other. So for example, the equilibrium lies to the left or the equilibrium lies to the right. So really only one of those can be true. So we have to decide which one it is. And same with statements 3 and 4. The carboxylic acid is a stronger acid than the protonated alcohol. The carboxylic acid is a weaker acid. Again, only one of those statements can really be true. So we have to decide which one. If we look at this equilibrium and we try to use our kind of qualitative study, it's going to be really difficult. Let's take a look at why. If we look at the base on this side, we have methanol, and then the carboxylic acid is the acid, and this is the conjugate base and the conjugate acid. So if we were to compare the 2 bases, that would be kind of difficult to do using the qualitative method like Cario, because the conjugate base is charged and the original base is neutral. So normally we say that if we think about Cario, C charge, in general, we would think that the neutral base is more stable than the charged base, right? So we can kind of conclude a lot of times that that's true, but it's hard to tell in this instance because our conjugate base also has resonance. And so it's a little bit tricky here because you kind of have competing Cario factors. So in order to solve this question, I recommend strongly that you use the quantitative method. So use pKa values to solve this question, because pKa values won't lead you astray. They're measured, quantitative, and we know for sure that they will help us to determine which acid is stronger and then which way does the equilibrium lie. So if we think about pKa values, the pKa of most carboxylic acids is 5. And if we look at this protonated alcohol, the pKa of most protonated like water or alcohols is around 0 or slightly less than 0. So right off the bat, we can answer statements 3 versus 4. Okay, so statement 3 says the carboxylic acid is a stronger acid. That's false because its pKa is higher. 4, the carboxylic acid is a weaker acid. That is true. Okay, we know that it's true because the pKa of the protonated alcohol is smaller, and so it is therefore a stronger acid. Okay, next we can then think about statements 1 and 2. Which way does the equilibrium lie? So the equilibrium always goes from strong acid and strong base. So the stronger acid is the protonated alcohol. So the equilibrium is going to go to the left. Right, so that's the true statement. This is the false statement. So now we can answer the question. The equilibrium lies to the left, and the carboxylic acid is a weaker acid than the protonated methanol. So both 1 and 4 are the correct statements here. So answer choice A is what we're going to go with here. A lot of times the qualitative method for looking at acids and bases will work, but pKa values and having a general idea of just kind of like, you know, what pKa values are within increments of like 5 can be really helpful and make solving this question way easier.